Hello, everybody, and welcome in to another exciting episode.
Yikes! It's so exciting. You can't contain himself.
To another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name is Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Death of a Unicorn. Joining me tonight, first up, from Indiana, please welcome Casey.
Hello.
Next up, from the mean streets of Oakland, California.
Okay.
She got a meth lab right across the street from her. Please welcome Rachel to the show.
We call it the town, and I'm feeling Oaklandish tonight.
That's right. There's some pre-show discussion you missed out on if you're not a patron. And last up tonight, from his gilded tower in Manhattan, New York City, please welcome John Schnars to the show.
We have all of the guild. The guildings.
CEO of the horror section, or as you may know him from his more important job, the business manager of Bloody Good Horror.
Yes. Oh, I didn't get to listen. I was telling these guys I hadn't listened to the episode. What you talked about? You talked about our coverage on Vice.
Yeah, it was. We mostly talked about BGH, obviously,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Fair. That's
lovely
as
article.
it should be.
And we shouted Craig out. Yeah.
The man.
Did you, John? I found myself wondering when we were watching this movie. Were you offended by this film's portrayal of the 1%?
I mean,
How'd you
no,
feel?
I wasn't actually.
Yeah,
If I
You're like,
identified
they
with
seem
them,
like-
maybe, but
they seem like good people.
Tonight's the night class war breaks out on
Shame.
BGH. Here we go, everybody.
We're gonna have a redux of
You're
They Live.
outnumbered by the have-nots, buddy.
but like, hold on. To be discussed, like, who were we meant to identify with that was like Paul Rudd? If you're like the lawyer of this company, you're
unicorn.
He's
also
a piece of shit too.
Oh,
yeah,
fair.
it's just Jenna Ortega. Yeah,
But
Well,
mean,
I
that
mean, they
butler-
didn't show their TV though, so we have no idea what class
Totally
strata
fair.
they were at.
yeah,
They were so rich they didn't even have a TV.
yeah.
that's the
a different-
richest. That's
a
the
different
richest
kind of
level.
rich.
Yeah, they just have
Yes.
peasants act out severance for them. Like,
These are gauche.
No, they get the cast of Severance to come to
oh,
their
right.
house.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like I said, peasants.
Duh.
Right. All right, let's do it. Let's take a quick break and review Death of a Unicorn.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. From the prime time. Main feature.
And we're back. Where were you last week, John? You out gallivanting around the country?
Where was I? Oh, well, I was traveling for horror-related business. I went to CinemaCon, my first ever CinemaCon.
More than one person in the chat said, "What? John doesn't have a cell phone. He can't call in to the show."
I could technically have called in. The problem was less about the.
Well, you had to see
doing
a
the
movie,
show.
too.
It was the watching the movie. It was
What's CinemaCon? Where's that?
It's like the movie industry convention that's like mostly for exhibitors like
Oh.
AMC Regal, and then all the big, like, it's where all the like a bunch of the trailers that dropped last week were premiered at CinemaCon. Like, that's like,
You should have told me. I would have sent you along with some issues about the haunted theater to work out. You know, like,
wait, what's the chain that runs the haunted theater? Because I met a bunch
that's
of
the thing,
theater
John.
chains.
There is no chain.
Oh, cool.
When I can see no identifying, like, branding in that theater.
That's-
There's no commercials. It's just straight trailers. There's no, like, I don't know what's going on. When I was
Well, there's tons
younger,
of independent theaters. Like, that's like a
it
thing.
definitely did when I was younger. It had to have been a Regal or something. But
Yeah.
a good news though, there's a weird like theater, and this is what I was in tonight, where you go in, you like, it's in a mall, haunted mall. You give me your ticket.
The
and
mall
then
is
there's
haunted.
one
The theater only became haunted because
The-
of the mall.
There's one theater, it's number 7, where you then exit the theater back out into the mall, and to the side there's a door, then like a side entrance to number 7. I have no idea why, but for like 2 years the sound system in 7 was like totally fucked, and the music was not as loud as it should have been. They fixed it.
Is this where you want to talk about that you are wearing noise canceling headphones in the theater now?
I was. This is exclusive now. I have my AirPod Pros in, and then turn that noise cancellation on, and then it's just like I'm watching TV, and not like having my soul rattled out of my body by
Right.
surround sound.
I'm
I don't-
there for the rattle. That's like part of what I'm there
I
for.
use my ears for my job.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
fair.
Like,
If I can't hear in 10 years.
there's probably a
It's his,
cleaner
like
way.
oral thunder shirt. Like, let him have this.
It really is a thunder shirt. I'm telling you, like something about just decreasing the noise around me makes me feel like if I had that at that convention we went to last year, I probably wouldn't have needed that hour to just sit on that bench and stare at that wall. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
Matilda got me
maybe.
these like
There were a lot of
they're-
people talking to me, to be fair, but
Yeah.
They're a big deal. But Matilda got me these earbuds that are like they're like these rings you put in, and they like lower the decibel. It's not noise
That's what-
canceling. But,
that's
yeah.
essentially what the AirPods do. I was looking it up, like, and each setting lowers it more and
Nice.
more.
Nice.
But probably what I could use is like some concert, something that's made to do that, but also let like the right amounts of frequencies through or something. You know, like,
I mean, you can get earplugs for like, $5
yeah,
for a
but
jug.
the concert ones are fancy because they let certain frequencies through. Anyway,
You're the hearing guy. What can I say?
I didn't get hit on. I was the only person in the theater, and it sounded good.
Maybe
so.
next time. Death of a Unicorn seems like it would have been prime real estate for that, but okay.
It's true.
Yeah. John,
Yeah.
please bring us the word of the day.
Eric, today's word is plutocrat. A little hat tip to Rachel for the suggestion. Plutocrat is a person whose power derives from their wealth. And I couldn't really, there wasn't a great etymology for the word plutocrat, but it really comes from plutocracy, which is the Greek plutos, meaning wealth, and kratos, meaning strength or authority.
I played that game.
Kratos.
Played all those games.
I'll tell you guys, this is the first time in a long time where we've come into a review. I have no clue where anyone's head's at. I'm so excited
I don't really either.
to get into this. There's
right.
plutocrats in the film, as referenced
boy.
previously.
Yep.
So.
Oh, thank you, John. Tell me about Death of a Unicorn. I hadn't even realized this was A24. I guess I probably had seen that in the trailer, and that probably was partially why I was like interested in seeing it.
Yeah, I mean,
A24.
I'll give you
I'm
quick.
curious if you would guess that it was after having seen it. Like, did
No,
it feel
I don't
like an
thi- I don't.
A24 to you?
No, I don't think it did actually.
No.
I think it felt like a cheap imitation of an A24 movie.
Dude, save it for the review, brah. Come on.
Yeah, bro.
Death of a Unicorn. Written and directed by Alex Sharfman, who first-time director. He's done a lot of credits. We actually covered, I think it's Resurrection. That's the Rebecca Hall. I'm pretty sure we covered it on this here film. He was the producer on that. I saw deep in the credits, or on his IMDb credits, he gets a special thanks credit on Terrifier 1. That's
Interesting.
Yeah, little horror connect there. I'm super curious. No, the other, so you mentioned A24. This is also a Square Peg film, which is Ari Aster. So Ari Aster is on this as an EP, as well as his
Twist.
producing partner. Yeah, well, they have a deal. They have a deal at A24, I believe. I think. That's my understanding. So yeah, Death of a Unicorn, Alex Sharfman. It stars Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd, lots of other fun folks. Richard Grant from Saltburn, right? That was the Saltburn dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
Anthony Carrigan from Barry. Do you guys watch Barry? Love Barry.
He's great in this. He's great in Barry, and he's great here.
I thought he was a little like
No-ho
underutilized in
Yeah,
this.
no-ho Hanks,
No
the
Hanks,
shit.
the man. Obviously, Taya Leone, chef's kiss, just here for all of it. Yeah, so that's the rough outline. We've got Paul Rudd, Jen Ortega's his daughter. They are driving to this chalet. Do they tell us where the chalet is? It's like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Just that
somewhere
it's in a
in
nature
northern
preserve.
U.S. somewhere.
It's like above the 70th parallel. No, I have no idea. It's like in the mountains. But this is like gorgeous house. They are plutocrats of a sort. It's a pharma family. Like they're basically like what are they?
Sacklers.
The Sacklers. Yes, it's like a Sackler, smaller family. Like it's like a 3-person family, really.
How many do you think went to Duke?
I mean, hopefully all. Like this, we produce plutocrats. That's the old Duke University.
Really, the plutocrat pipeline comes right
Yeah.
from Duke.
It's these guys, and then the guy from White
One of the
Lotus,
octopus
and-
tentacles definitely connects down back
Yeah.
to Duke at some point.
Well, and then the horror section CEOs, and it's like all the top people.
That's right.
Aspiring
That's ours.
plutocrats.
So Paul Rudd is driving up to this house because the father is dying. It's a pharma family. This is why the Sackler connection. And the father's dying. Paul Rudd is like the lawyer or one of the lawyers of the company, and he's basically driving up there to sign paperwork to basically become the proxy on the company's board for like the family's operation, which is like a big deal. Like he's gonna go from being like just a lawyer to like kind of the right hand of this like super rich family, and like that means a lot of nice things for him and his daughter. Jen Ortega, the daughter, she's like a depressed teen person, or if not depressed, she's
Angsty.
yeah, she's not pleased to be going on this trip, that's for sure. And on their way up, they get into a car accident where they hit a mythical creature. It's more like a pony version of a unicorn. It's sort of revealed. I think it's actually in the trailer that it's like the baby unicorn that they hit. They take it to the house with them, but they're like sort of trying to hide it. But in the process, like Jenna Ortega has like this mind meld with the unicorn because she touches its horn. It's also sort of revealed that the unicorns can't really die, and they have these like self-healing powers. And so the unicorn starts to like heal itself. She also like clears up her acne because there's some of the unicorn juices get on her face. Paul Rudd like hits it in the head and like blood sprays in his eyes, and then his eyes get better and he doesn't have to wear his glasses. And so then the medical plutocrat family, the pharma family, they realize like, oh shit, we can use this unicorn to basically like cure all these diseases. And Odell, the father who's dying of cancer, they like inject him with like crushed up unicorn horn or blood or something, and then he like doesn't have cancer anymore. The downside,
Sign me up.
yeah, I mean that part was cool. The no cancer. The downside is that the unicorn parents are displeased and murderous, and they return and sort of exact revenge.
All right. Casey, what'd you think?
So I've been looking forward to this one. Seen the trailer once, didn't want to spoil it, so I've been avoiding everything. I enjoyed this a lot. I mean, the cast is amazing, so you can't go wrong with this cast. It looks amazing. It's well put together. I really love the fantastical elements of this and the crazy story that was coming out with how they changed the mythos of the unicorns and stuff like that. It was a blast. I think it got a little slow for me in the middle. It got a little too talky, and that's when my attention started to fade. But then once all the crazy stuff after that started up, once we, have the mama and daddy unicorns start showing back up, it gets fun again. So I think this is a good movie, and I enjoyed watching it, but it's not quite where I'd hoped it'd been just because of that dip in the middle.
Rachel.
Yeah. So I think this movie has a lot of ideas and a lot of things to say, and many of those ideas are things that I'm very interested in seeing dissected through like the metaphor of a film. Like there's a core question in particular that I love, which is like, what do the 1%, the people who have made fortunes through exploitation, do when they are faced with a miracle, and how quickly they can justify further exploitation as something altruistic? That's a really interesting idea. The problem is, I think this movie has don't laugh at me, Schnars.
Well, no, the answer in the movie is like 0 seconds. It's like
Yeah,
they're like
right.
cartoonish. in that
It
regard.
layers in some other interesting ideas, like particularly around like the way Paul Rudd's character is like desperately cozying up to the source of power, thinking that that's going to serve as some sort of prophylactic against himself being exploited and like being
Prophylactic.
corrupted through that. But I just think the problem is that there's almost too many ideas in this movie, and it kind of pulls the punch at the end in a way that led to it being a little more toothless than I had hoped for. If you're going to eat the rich, eat the rich.
Yeah.
String 'em
Don't
up.
softball it for me. Yes, exactly. To
Grab the
Casey's
fucking
point,
torches. Let's go.
yeah, exactly.
Sorry, John.
The cast in this thing is wild. Like, well, I missed something.
No,
What
she
I
just
missed?
said Sergeant.
Yeah, to a person, I love everyone. Like, even in the small bit parts, like Jessica Hines shows up as like a, I guess she's like a security person. I loved her in Spaced, and it's crazy. All these people are in here, and it's kind of a shame that even though this cast is incredible and stacked, I don't think that they really took advantage of that. I think Will Poulter gets to have some fun. I think Tia Leone is pretty great in this, but like,
Will
to
Poulter's
me,
single-handedly putting this movie on his back, I feel
Yeah.
like, honestly.
he gets an arc. He gets all the best lines. Like, he is camp and having fun with this in a way that the other people are just kind of like left with nothing to do. Like, I think the biggest losers in this are actually Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. Paul Rudd's just like miscast, right? You know,
Yeah.
he's like this feckless, sniveling kiss ass, right? But my brain could not reconcile
He's so
that
likable,
with
it's
Paul
hard
Rudd.
to see it. Yeah.
Right.
It's so like it just did not work, and then Jenna Ortega basically gets nothing to do except for like Google shit. You know, it's disappointing.
She works
on
that printer
front.
pretty hard. There's like a
She
scene where
does.
she's printing things, which
Yes.
is not always a great sign.
Yeah, I'm glad she went matte and not glossy because that's gauche. But I do like the unicorns. I think I love the idea that they're like bigger and nastier. I wish they were even bigger and nastier. Ultimately, it was kind of like a decent sit, not a great sit, not a bad sit, a decent sit, and a really weird choice for A24.
John.
I generally agree with Rachel. I would say that is where I land. Now, you all may have, there's so many things I want to say. Do you all notice the runtime? We were like right at the devil's runtime. It was like
a little
it's-
over 140. It was
it was
yeah,
like
it's getting
148, I think
close.
is what I saw it listed at. But I checked and I was like, oh, if it's 150, I'm gonna crack up. But
I'm never wrong, John, on that specific thing.
no, well, and like it's Casey said it. Like there are parts of this that just the pacing got a little wonky. I'll defend Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega because like whether or not they're miscast, like they're almost acting in a different movie at a certain point. Like the father-daughter stuff like mostly worked for me. Like Paul Rudd worked as like dad who needed to like come to his senses about being a dad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, people can disagree, Rachel. That is what we're here for.
I didn't
but,
say anything.
there was visual cues is all I'm going to say.
This is an audio medium, sir. Don't be calling me out.
But ultimately, like their whole relationship and like the crux of the film hangs on their relationship in a way where I'm just like, what is the point of this? Like, if the movie is ultimately, if we're there to see these unicorns annihilate these rich people, I'm like totally aligned. Like the best parts is, if you want to know the scene that got me to laugh the hardest, because this is really a comedy, right? Like it's a comedy. The funniest scene in the movie is when the fucking baby unicorn's head pops out of that car and it makes like this like ridiculous like donkey noise. I was just cracking up.
When it first wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it, like
yeah.
its head comes blasting out and it's got this like weird, sort of, it reminded me of like the donkeys in Pinocchio. Like it had that like face where it's like, but that like I wanted more moments like that where these
God, I
unicorns are
forgot
just
about the fucking donkeys in Pinocchio. Jesus Christ, John, you just dislodged a
So dark,
horrifying
dude.
childhood memory.
yeah, very dark.
Donkeys, oh my God.
But so like the moments where the unicorns are being crazy and like, when it's like eating Taya Leone's entrails out of her body.
That was
like,
a good one.
cool.
Yeah.
Like that's that's like the best parts of this movie. When there's like an honest to God father-daughter reconciliation sequence at like the climax of the film, I was just like, what are we doing right now? Like this is I
Don't pull the punch.
so
Yeah.
I
That
wasn't sure if that's what you meant where you were saying pulling the punch. Like they built the whole movie around that scene to a certain extent. So like it was
Yeah.
not that they were pulling. It's like that was the punch, and it's just like
Yeah.
So
I
don't
mean,
know.
I didn't say that during mine, but you're 100% right. To me, that ending came across as sappy,
Well, it's
and it was
100%.
just, and it was not the right tone.
Yeah.
I think my issue with this movie is it's kind of neither fish nor fowl. I think it can't exactly decide what it wants to be. It's got, and also I think I don't know. Do we know? Did A24 produce this, or is this just a thing that they sort of picked up
Well,
and released? Because
I would assume they probably produce it just because of Square Peg, like in no,
A24, yeah, they're at this really interesting. I think they've got to be careful with their brand a little bit. Like they put out Y2K too.
yeah.
That movie was dog
They're
shit.
having a little bit of a Pixar problem. They
Y2K
need to-
sucked.
Yeah.
This is not very good. Like part of what makes A24 special is I think that there's this feeling that like there was a feeling like, oh, they're only going to put out, it's like early Blumhouse, like
Right.
but more like to, you know, they're only going to put out stuff that's like really unique, really interesting, and like that's how they're like quality right over quantity. And I feel like they found so much success, and now I just feel it's like swinging the other direction a little bit, and it's making me nervous because like being put out by A24 is a problem for this movie because it kind of has all the A24 trappings on the surface. It had a great trailer. It's got a real quirky premise. The problem is that like the film doesn't live up to the premise. There's a much better version of this idea that they could have made. And it's like, does it, to your point, Rachel, does it want to be a really biting, satirical, funny, comedic thing? Or does it want to be a scary kind of monster movie? Now, you can genre blend. There's a world where it can be both, but unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it feels like it's kind of pulling in two different directions. I think it's at its best when that unicorn is just fucking shit up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a raucously funny movie. I think that Will Poulter has moments where he definitely cracks through. And frankly, like the cast is unbelievable, like just as far as the people they got. And it's elevating what otherwise I think is actually like a pretty flat, not that inspired script. And it really just all comes home in the end where again we're getting just sort of rote. It becomes rote in a way that you like don't really expect. If you're gonna make a killer unicorn movie, make a bunch of like interesting choices with it. Don't like even the whole thing with Paul Rudd and the mom is dead. And it's like it's just so Hollywood cliche, like heartstringy.
Well, and they
it's like, I don't
connected
even
to her
mind.
through the unicorns. Like,
I don't mind heartstringy, right?
obviously.
But the point is like it's most effective when it's unique so that it can make you forget about the fact that it's pulling your heartstrings, right? Like it makes you lose yourself in it. This is just so cliche in the way they're doing this. So it's just like it doesn't live up to its premise. I actually think the cast is elevating it above the material significantly. I love the unicorns. I love the design. I wish that the whole thing about like, what are you seeing? Like the whole idea that they're sort of like offering some kind of magic. It doesn't never really kind of comes full circle. It's like we just see the universe. And it's
Well,
like,
it comes
okay,
full
like-
circle because Paul Rudd goes into the same place, and like then that's like part of their reconciliation is like they both go to the
No, I get it, but
Yeah.
it just was a little half baked, kind of the idea.
yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty boring, punctuated by a few inspired moments here and there, but like
Yeah.
I'll just say in my 2025 hallucination rankings, this is substantially above Ash right now. So it's like these hallucinations and then the Ash
what were the
hallucinations.
hallucinations even in this movie?
Well, when she touches the
Oh,
unicorn
like-
horn and
yeah,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
gotcha.
floating in
I got
La La Land.
I think
The
Will
kills-
Poulter for real though steals the show. Like I think he's
Oh,
gonna
he
have
does. My
Yeah,
favorite moment
just
is
hammer
him
it
with the
up.
bow and arrow. And then he finally had somebody at arrow point and said, I only have one lesson.
One of the best lines in the movie is when he's like, I only actually had a couple lessons.
No, I mean, honestly, everything when he is just like doing rails of unicorn powder and he's just like completely coked out of his gourd talking about like how he's the smartest man alive. All of that. even though I know it was not necessarily timed for this moment, is just perfectly lands in this moment. He's in a different movie, and that's kind of the movie I wanted to be watching. Tia Leone is there a little bit too. Like, there's a great line about like, we haven't been this happy since we launched Fin, which, like killed a bunch of
That was a
people.
good line, and I like that because
Yeah.
that's kind of like, unless you're old and really plugged into news and pop culture, like, would that even land? That I appreciated that reference for the old heads.
Tia Leone's the way she talked to Will Poulter throughout the entire movie was hilarious too. Like, oh, that's so good. That's a good job. You're doing a good job. You're a big boy.
Yeah.
No, I think, Eric, like your point about neither fish nor fowl, like that was the other thing I was thinking as I walked out. Is like, it's a comedy, and some of the comedy works, and as we said, like the cast like it's a great cast, but it's also really gory. So it's like the comedy heads are going to show up and be like, "Whoa, this unicorn's like eating Tia Leone's insides out," but then the like horror fan, like people like us, if you're trying, and look, I think this comes through in the marketing, like that it's like not 100% sure, like it's a funny horror movie, but I don't know, it just like it doesn't 100% pick one of those lanes to knock out of the park.
Yeah.
The more we talk about this and the way this movie's put together, the way it flows, and the confusion of elements and stuff, I'm really getting a striking feeling like they were going for something like Krampus and fell short.
Okay.
And couldn't quite intertwine it together as well.
I have a deep dive actor thing in this movie that I'm wondering. First of all, I'll be really disappointed if anyone else picked this up.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so the character of Dr. Song, is an Asian actor. Did you clock who that guy is?
No.
He's in an all-time iconic film and an all-time iconic scene.
Okay, well now the pressure's on.
He is in Fargo. He's the guy that Frances
my
McDormand goes and has lunch with that she used to go to high school with. It's one scene in the whole movie.
That's such a good fucking scene, though.
It's like one of the best scenes in the fucking movie. I could just tell by his mannerisms because I've seen Fargo so many times. He looks so different because he's like 30 years older now.
Yeah.
But that's him.
Wow.
Steve Park.
Good pull.
Thank you.
Good pull.
Feel pretty good about that. Okay, and then also, so the doctor lady. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I like
this is
her.
really interesting.
His
okay,
like
so
the other doctor.
her name is Sunita Mani, and I was hoping I was right about this. I was. She was in Save Yourselves.
Yeah.
I actually think Save Yourselves is a great example of what this movie sort of could be like much quirkier and stranger. So it's interesting that she's kind of in both of them.
Well, they probably made Save Yourselves for like under.
I wanted this to be more
less
like
than a
that.
third of this movie budget.
But I mean, even like the
it's the
family
same
and stuff.
person.
The actress?
No, the director and writer.
I think this was his
Oh,
first film
I'm
writing.
kidding.
May have
Yeah.
produced it. I wonder if he produced it.
Same first name. Never mind.
Oh.
Let's move on.
It's funny because there's no other Erics out there.
I
and
know.
So, you probably just get confused.
I've yet to meet
People
one
have
I
the same
like.
first name.
I was like, I don't know.
Ay.
One of the other struggles with this is it's hard to have a plutocrat family that doesn't live up to the Saltburn family now in kind of this genre, and that's what I was hoping for out
Saltburn
of this
family's
family,
pretty-
and they don't really get there.
Well,
No
all
one,
right.
no one even had sex with dirt in this movie. What the
I
hell?
know.
Do you want me to do my types of plutocrats rant, which I'm sure everybody wants to
Sure.
hear? But like,
Obviously.
the difference between this family and the Saltburn family is the Saltburn family is like truly doesn't have like a career. Like if you were to ask them like, "What's your job?" It's like
It's just
idle
money.
rich. Yeah, these
They're
people
wealthy.
They
like
run the pharma.
created a pharma company. Whether or like are they milking
John-
society in inappropriate ways?
John
like, yada, yada.
Snap and Schnars. What is your argument you're formulating here?
No, I'm just saying like there's like Saltburn
Look
is
at
like a
Rachel's
truly like
I'm
crazy.
excited to see where this goes.
Well, it's like
I
that
get what
family in
he's saying.
Saltburn is like disconnected from reality in a different way because like it's like
Because
passive
they don't
wealth.
work, whereas
They don't
this
work.
family
Like
does
this
work.
family is like the son is a future Saltburn person. The son
Yes.
in this movie, but like the dad, at least in theory, created this company. And
John,
like,
you sound
is a
very
scientist or something.
sound very Ayn Rand right now. I want to say. Renee says, "Oh
We
boy,
like
here
the
goes Rich.
bootstraps
Here
pulling
goes Rich
crap.
explaining again.
But like, well, all right,
He's a contributor. Is that what you're trying to say, John?
No, well, I just mean like it's different than the Saltburn family. Like he's rich in a different way.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
I
they're
think
not
you're
gonna
making
act
a
like the
point
Saltburn
that,
family.
like, you know,
There's different kinds. It
being a
takes all kinds
corrupt
of rich
exploiter
people,
is a timeless tradition. Like, these are the nouveaux, but they're still, it's the same.
I would argue the
essentially thing.
Saltburn family doesn't even think about exploiting people because it's so fucking
don't need
out of
to.
their.
They don't need
they're
to.
beyond exploiting people.
Right.
These,
I would love-
this. You could. This is where the movie isn't sharp enough about pharma as an industry. To like really make a point other than like these people are rich. And like your point about like how quickly they went from unicorns are a miracle to like, oh, we have to like,
Yeah.
you know, milk this. But they're like within 30 seconds, they're on the phone. Like, how much can we get out of like Jeff Bezos or whoever? They were like name dropping random people.
I would
you
love
know?
to be idle rich. I think I would prefer that over like when I watch like Succession, I'm like, that seems like a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Dude, idle rich is obviously the best kind of rich. Like, you don't want to have to work and be rich. That's very hard.
Most people never enjoy it.
I want to be a rich idle weirdo. I'd be 100% down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd probably
I'd
die
be
in
the
6
sackler
months,
that bought all of the vaginas for the art exhibit in Brooklyn. That's my sackler.
Nice.
the black sheep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm essentially the black sheep of my family, but we're poor. It's not the same.
You don't get the same satisfaction.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't
Different,
because
different black
there's
sheepness.
no money. Yeah. All right, y'all. Anything else to say about Death of Unicorn?
I did like the kills in this. The kills were the best part of this movie.
Yeah. Good kills.
The one with where the the dad got kicked out the door into the statue was pretty great.
All the deaths were great.
That?
Just lots
Yeah.
of like insane mayhem.
I wish there was more. Like,
And
I wish
well,
it
yeah.
turned into just like an insane Grand Guignol level.
I wish it was
slaughter
spread throughout
at
the
end.
movie a little more too. Like that would have helped.
Yeah,
the
most of
second
the
act
staff-
quickly.
Most of the staff disappeared, or were gone early. So
Yeah,
it would have been nice if there was more people to murder.
they are very gory. I will give them credit for that. Like they don't
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
around with the kills. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like these unicorns, like the design of them too.
Yeah,
They're
the
sort of
fangs
like
were kinda
horses,
cool.
but like elephants at the same time. They're just so fucking big.
Yeah.
So
I never thought about a horse with fangs, and I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the design's great. All right, would you recommend it, Casey,
At home on streaming.
Rachel,
No.
Jonathan?
I will also say no.
Okay, I'm a no as well. One tepid, one flaccid thumbs up from Casey.
Yeah.
is what you recommend.
That's about right.
That was
All right, let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. First up on our live show YouTube comments, you can see the live show by going to patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. Signing up, we do a weekly live video stream. You can see all of our mugs. People routinely tell us we look better than they thought we would. So, and I think I'm just getting better. With
Do
age.
they say that?
If I'm honest,
said
with you,
that to
John.
me yet.
No, that was really back in the day when we were doing conventions. I've had like several people say that to us. Like, yeah, you guys are like a lot better looking than we thought. Rachel is just. We all know Rachel's the queen. So, Jay says the haunted theater only exists for Eric. No one else can see it. I love this as part of the haunted theater.
That's why they walk him outside in the hall and shove him in a
Despite
random door.
finally fixing the audio, surrounding that one theater, there has been a urinal with like police tape out of it that says like out of order that for like 6 months at least. So they can't get that together. But
It's a rough sign.
Yeah. Let's see. Renee says Will Poulter's swim shorts did most of the work in this movie. That was a great line when he's like, I feel like I shouldn't be in swim shorts for this.
There are some funny moments in this. That's why it was hard to say no. Like it's a decent sit.
Truly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's well put together.
Jace says, I feel like every episode you can either generally agree with Rachel or just be wrong.
I mean,
Jeez.
imagine all the poor
All
people
right.
who have to talk to me more than once a week.
Settle down, please.
But yes, that is correct.
I missed this and I'm now very sad, so I'm gonna have to get a reenactment here. Renee says, not John miming touching the unicorn horn. Did you do okay. And then Liz says, Renee sees what I see. So getting our viewers hot and bothered there, John.
So I'm here for.
That's it. Casey, I'm gonna look at email. You want to do threads?
Yeah, we got one good thread question out there this week. Our good buddy Popcorn.Designs. If you could hang out with any mythical creature, which would it be? A little snuggle with Bigfoot? Have a beer with the Mothman?
Kind of fascinated by Mothman. I did see an incredible movie lately. Did I talk about Frogman on this show?
Well,
No,
you
no.
definitely
No.
talked about it over
You mentioned
text.
It's
I don't know if you
so
talked about
goddamn good. I think I got Casey to watch it after
you
I was
did.
texting
So
about
fun
it.
It's
and
great.
weird and creepy.
It's a weird one.
If you're like me and just love a good weird found footage movie, you got to get on Frogman like right now.
Sequel's coming this year, Eric.
Oh,
I'm
there's
just
a sequel?
saying.
Sweet.
Yeah, Frogman 2 is coming. We need to find out what happens with that frog wizard.
That's right.
I mean, I think it's quite obvious I'd be hanging out with Bigfoot.
I think at this point you should watch it, John, just so we can get your review.
On Frogman.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. Where did
I
you
watched.
watch?
Amazon. I think I just rented it on Prime.
I think I saw it on Tubi or something.
Okay.
Also, I rewatched Exists recently, Casey, which was the Eduardo Sanchez found footage Bigfoot movie.
Ooh.
That movie fucks. I think it might be the best Bigfoot movie ever made, except like Harry and the Hendersons. But like, you know,
Yeah.
it's really good. John, just for your, so you know, my current top 5, I only have 4. Companion, number 1. Number 2, The Rule of Jenny Penn. Number 3, Presence. Number 4, The Monkey.
Yeah,
I
all right.
truly-
I mean, it's a weird list, but
The Monkey
sure.
is the one, like, if this is on my list at the end of the year, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. So the horror world needs to get their shit together.
Dude, Rule of Jenny Penn is fucking weird. He's crazy. So,
Arlie
Gal.
says, any chance you'll do Alex Garland's Warfare? It's more horror than Drop.
yeah, it's coming out this weekend. I did see that. The trailer's pretty good.
Civil War, like, legitimately gave me PTSD. Like, I still think about that movie in a way that I don't
Well,
like.
Warfare looks way crazier than that,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
So,
At least this is a war I might not have to participate in someday because it's about a past war. So maybe that helps.
Thing about war is war never changes. you
That's
know?
true.
there you go. Rachel, sagacious.
When's
as
that new
always,
season of
about
Fallout?
war?
When's that new season of Fallout coming? Speaking of,
I know. I need some more Fallout in my life.
yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in the theaters, and we were talking about like what we're gonna do. We don't really know yet, but yeah.
We'll figure
Okay,
it out.
that's it, Casey.
That's it.
I didn't see any email. Jace can keep me honest there, as he does. From Bow Y, Bo Y, I don't know. Which other mythical monster should do a darker, accurate rebrand of? Mythical. Oh, I said mermaid. Like, I'd love a good like. I've always been
Yeah.
obsessed with the idea of like sirens, like sort of in the Iliad. And, like, I think that would be fun.
Wasn't there? I think there was a movie called like Siren or something not too long
Yeah.
ago. I haven't seen it, but I remember
I thought it
seeing
was
the cover.
closer to like the 2000s.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Unicorns are sort of unique in that they're one of the few mythical monsters that's truly looked at as like magical and benevolent. So that's why I kind of flipping it. Well,
Mm-hmm.
see, maybe that's the thing. Like they are still that in this movie. Maybe it would be funnier if they were just like just
Straight mean.
murderous monsters, right?
Yeah.
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 Have we ever had a Loch Ness monster movie? I feel like Meg is really kind of like the best version of that.
Has there
anyway,
ever
so-
been a like found footage Loch Ness monster movie? There must be, right?
I mean, the whole
Somebody should
problem
get
is
on that
like,
shit.
what hey, just get away from that lock, and you'll probably be all right.
Well, John, but that you can write around that easy. It's somebody
Hey,
who's like
sure.
life. That's the whole story of Frogman is that the guy captured Frogman on video when he was a kid, and
Mhm.
his video like became famous, but nobody believes him, and so he's determined. He's been obsessed his whole life. And he's determined to go back to
Yeah.
prove that Frogman is real. So that's it.
Oh,
That's
that
the
is a
same
good-
fucking shit. You just need a
Dude.
reason
It
to be
goes
there.
some places.
You have sold me on Frogman. I'm
You
in
gotta
for
watch
fucking
Frogman.
great,
It's
dude.
good.
All right.
It was so validating that you liked it because it's such a weird movie, and I was like a little nervous to recommend
Weird
it to
found
you. So when
footage
you
is
were
like-
into it, I was like,
Yeah, come on.
Weird found footage is my jam.
See, I'm
a
pretty
weirdie.
anti-found footage, but what you describe is a thing that I can get behind.
and it
Well,
goes,
you
it
call it
goes
research, John.
bonkers. It's a
Oh, sure.
bonkers ass movie, so it's not like
Why are we not
There's
just
no
covering
payoff.
this on the podcast? I feel like we're doing a free review of Frogman right
we
now.
were worried about you.
Oh, guys, come on.
Because when I don't know if you like a movie, John, I don't want you to hurt my feelings.
It is low budget. It has a potential that it could make Schnars unhappy if he had to.
Right. That's why I just want you to watch it outside of it, and then you just tell us what you thought, and then we can
Yeah.
just move on if you don't like it.
We-
all
You're
right.
the
we-
CEO
guys,
of fucking
It's
the
been
horror
18
section.
years.
I know,
Schnars.
well,
We know you.
You could be putting Frogman 2 into theaters if you were doing your fucking job.
Look, this is why I gotta watch Frogman 1 first. Guys, settle down. It sounds like they already have a Frogman 2 on the
franchise
way,
potential.
so,
Arlie says Creepshow did a Loch Ness episode based on a Joe Hill story. Yeah, that Creepshow show is butt, but it's good to know. It's just butt.
this is the one that was on Shudder. Didn't they do it for
Shudder.
Shudder?
Yeah.
I can't think of a good evil fairy movie.
There's that one like The Hollows. Wasn't that about fairies?
Evil
Yeah.
fairy.
Yeah,
I
know
do
what
love
it
in the
was.
labyrinth how the fairies are sort of just like little pests in that opening
Yeah, they're like
scene.
annoying.
Yeah, a lot of them are evil and sneaky if you read the right books.
He's got the little sprayer thing that he like sprays them with, and they fall out of there. That's pretty good.
Are you guys familiar with Flatwoods Monster? I feel like we've never had a good Flatwoods
No.
Monster.
That's
is
a
that?
made-up
Fancy.
thing. You just made that up. Flat
Maybe I
Woods
did.
Monster?
I'll write it. Like, can you
should.
please produce it?
Oh, no problem.
No, but
Guys, we said
it's
no
like a
pitching
West
on the show.
Virginia.
I'm looking it
It's
up
a
right
cryptid from West Virginia, and she's very fancy. She has like a cool cloak and a red face, and she's cool.
now. Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna Google this. What's it called?
yeah, Flatwoods
Flatwoods
Monster. I'm
Monster.
looking at it.
Like, yeah, it's like very
Ooh.
close to where Mothman shit
It's
went
very
down.
Frogman, honestly.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's a swamp. It like came
Is
out
this
of the swamp.
Frogman's lady?
Maybe it is. She does look a little like an exotic, like Amazon.
amphibious.
I'll take this time to recommend a Jersey Devil movie that I made you guys watch years ago, and I think I was the only one who liked, which is The Last Broadcast.
Oh, I like
Oh.
the last
Oh yeah,
one.
that's a good one.
The
Well, you could have defended me on that show, Rachel. This is why I don't have John watch movies I love.
Yeah, I know.
It was actually Joe. I feel like I recall being the real downer on that one.
yeah, I don't think I've actually seen it. I don't know that I was on that.
It's like a
episode.
movie that could not happen now because so much of the tension is about the slow loading of a photo.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, it's like processing, enhancing. John, this was This was easily. I'm positive this was like 17 years ago. So it was
Well,
like
yeah,
you,
no,
you
it's-
could have
it's-
seen it and just not remember.
No, come on. I remember all of
The
them.
J-
I
Jace-
totally covered it on the show. I think that's how I ended
Frogman
up
is 1
watching
hour
it.
and 17 minutes. You can't even be mad if it sucks at that runtime. He's got a point.
Jeez, just drop truth bomb after truth bomb tonight.
If 150 is the devil's runtime, what is 117? That's
Yeah,
like,
117,
That's like the
that's-
unicorn's runtime. All right, Teddy Krueger. What's scarier, unicorn or Bigfoot, or a unicorn riding a Bigfoot?
Well, that would be pretty
Wouldn't the
terrifying.
Bigfoot ride the
actually.
I'm going to
unicorn?
put that on a binder immediately. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, that's some Lisa Frank shit.
There's that book, De-Evolution, that makes Bigfoot pretty scary. It's like the Max Brooks
Yeah.
like first-hand
Oh.
account of a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch massacre. It's kind of great.
John, the fuck is happening outside of your apartment this evening?
Twist. John actually lives across the street from me.
Do you have a
I
Manhattan
live
meth
like-
lab?
I live 2 blocks away from like 3 hospitals though, so it's like nonstop fucking ambulances. Can you hear them? I couldn't even hear them earlier, but the lights
yeah,
behind me
yeah.
are going.
Quit
sometimes.
gaslighting us with your.
Yeah, don't gas lamp us.
The gilding around here, let me tell you guys.
Yeah. You need to slap some more gilding up on them windows.
We have noise dampening in the bedrooms. That's why I like it in there. But you know,
Our friend Michael says, "Would you be willing to get an eyebrow replacement to have the same as Will Poulter?" Michael, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have impeccable eyebrows that I get compliments on all the time, so I'm not worried about it.
Strong eyebrow game. I've always said that about the
John,
Rule
many
family.
women have told me that they're jealous of my eyebrows
good God.
and my eyelashes.
Okay.
So
Well, I can't argue with them one way or the other, really. So
yours could use some work though. So what's it?
I've reached the
Rachel,
age
what's an eyebrow replacement? What does that even look like? Like a tattoo or like?
I
is
mean,
he
you
just
can
making
like.
shit up.
So there's like a process where you can actually have. They go and they do these very light grazing, like cuts, very shallow
Blading.
cuts, where they like put in like lines of brow and they make it look like it's painted on there, but they're just like little.
You're talking
wounds.
about a tattoo.
No, I'm talking it's not as invasive as a tattoo and it doesn't last forever. It's these little tiny micro cuts that they drop some ink into that eventually goes away.
Oh,
that's
interesting.
crazy.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
You're
yeah.
talking about tattoos. How dare you, sir? I know what a tattoo is.
No, but people do like
Yeah.
makeup,
permanent makeup?
permanent makeup tattoos.
Yeah.
They'll do like lip liner or eyeliner. Yeah.
I had a friend with alopecia who had tattoo. You know,
I wonder. Yeah. Now they would probably get this other process done where they like it's like these 3 little blades.
if it's not
that just
permanent,
like-
that sounds completely insane. You got to go back and do
yeah,
that.
but
how
if
often?
it goes wrong, that's actually you know what I mean.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, fair enough.
there's some bad tattooed eyebrows out there. and
No,
I feel
his
very sad
were
for them.
good.
Is
Plus,
that
wouldn't-
similar to
you know.
threading?
tattoos, tattoos change color
Well.
too. So like tattoos over time will turn blue. So then, yeah.
Well, a lot of it depends on your skin and yeah.
I haven't raised it with him.
Rory, our friend Rory,
Journalism fail.
which one of the BGH team is a unicorn? It's clearly
Casey,
Rachel.
obviously.
I could go from cuddly to mean when I want.
No, Casey's more like Frogman. Casey's like an old wizard.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen the movie yet. Can't be making Frogman references till we've all.
I mean, the unicorn has a very specific meaning outside
Oh,
of the
I know, it
mythical.
does. It does.
So
Were you
I'm
gonna
wondering,
explain
did
stuff
they
to John
what they
this
wanted
evening?
to know?
Are you referencing My
Was
Little
that an
Pony, or-
invitation? Are you getting fresh with me?
Which one of us is going to tell John what a unicorn is?
Do you not know? We'll tell you after.
All right, that's fine.
We'll offline
Your
it.
parents listen to the show. I'll tell you after.
I mean, yeah,
I'm sure they already have formed an opinion about the,
they've
uncouth
heard
girl
things.
on the show.
they've heard things.
Maybe the chat can give it to us. So John can read it. All right, Brian Wolford. How does a first time? Oh no, sorry. This is Goth Car Wash, which I did. It's the first time they've written it. How does a first time director or writer get this cast and make such a bad movie? Is it a crypto thing? I feel like that's a shot.
Oh, that's come on.
I mean, he's a very accomplished producer.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did a lot of producing and
yeah.
writing.
The answer is just you're somehow juiced into Hollywood. You
Yeah.
just know people. Yeah.
I mean, he produced things I really did like.
Well, this is a good one.
Well, if you've never seen Blow the Man Down, get into it. It's excellent.
Polly Muller, what imaginary creature did you believe in as a child other than Santa?
Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy.
Everything.
It's
when I
so
was a
interesting
kid.
going through this with children. Like my 8-year-old still believes in Santa, and it kind of blows my mind actually. Like, because she acts like a teenager in every other way, but then fully believes in Santa. And John, I don't know if you do this, but there's a new thing where we do like the leprechaun comes and visits the night before St. Patrick's Day, and like
No.
we create a leprechaun trap, and then the next morning it's like it tried to trap him, but it didn't, and there's like candy and shit.
I've
Oh,
heard of the
spots.
leprechaun trap, but there's absolutely no fucking way we're getting involved in that.
I feel like the best reason to have kids is holidays. Like the other days of the year, not so much, but like on holidays, they're so much fun.
There is something kind of magical about. They're just like,
Yeah.
ah.
We used to do St. Nick with Delaney, where like 5 days before Christmas, she put her old shoes out outside her bedroom door at night, and then she'd get new shoes from St. Nick.
Oh, I like that.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
But it was
It's
like a
so
different
practical.
person than Santa, or it was like an alter ego.
It was St. Nicholas, yeah.
Yeah,
So different from Santa.
I thought Santa and Saint Nicholas were kind of just like the same, but just like rolled up and
It changes everywhere.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like
mean,
that.
they are
I like
kinda
that
one,
idea.
but
Yeah. Plus,
That's
they get
gonna
new shoes, which is like fun. They have
Yeah.
that's gonna do it for BGH. Renee. There's no way I'm fucking doing that. Dad of the year. Yeah, you see, John, you don't have that single dad guilt. Like you got to keep up. You know what I mean? Like you can't drop the ball on that kind of
I
shit.
have whatever
You
the
know what
opposite of that is.
you know what trend I'm glad I missed out on was Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I told
don't
you
need
guys
that
about
in my
how
life.
my daughter just like I had bought these like really cheap little Christmas gnomes, and they just decided that was the elf on the shelf, and then I just kind of got conned into moving it around.
But is there more than one?
There's two of them. Yeah, they're we haven't decided if they're partners or brother and sister or friends, but we
Oh.
made it.
I thought you were going to say like enemies, like they were.
Yeah, now I'm moving two
working
fucking
against each
things
other.
around every day.
Well,
in
that
between.
dude, that's crazy because we struggled to find a place for the one elf for.
Well,
whole
sometimes I
time.
forget, and then we'll just have a conversation. Be like, well, maybe they were tired. Because I don't know either, John. I'm not the one moving them,
Well,
so
all
I
right,
could just guess as to why they're not moving.
we can leave this whole topic at the end. But have you, Eric, and maybe Casey, you went through this too? But have you had the like panic wake up in the morning? Holy shit! I forgot to put the tooth fairy money under the pillow.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm on top of that shit.
It's happened like 4 times where we'll sit up in the morning and be like, "Oh my god, the tooth fairy didn't come."
No, because you know
And
why
you have to
though?
like sneak into the room, and the one
When
time my
my
daughter woke
kids
up,
fall
and it was like a whole
asleep,
thing.
It takes less than 2 minutes into them falling asleep, and you could turn all the lights on and bring a full band through, and they would not wake up. So pretty much once
You
I have
drug
them to pretty much once I have them to sleep, I leave the room, I grab the money, and I go right back in and stick it under their pillow,
Yeah.
so I don't forget. Because otherwise, I would. If I had to wait and like do it later, I would forget.
See,
No,
we had the
we-
problem with Delaney was a night owl, so she never. We'd send her to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock. She would not go to sleep, and and fight it. It was all through school.
Nah, you
so
know that
every time
episode-
we had to wait.
You know that episode of The Office where like Michael falls asleep and they put all the clocks ahead, so he thinks it's
Yeah.
5, so they can all clock out. Like that's the level of psychological warfare I have on my children for like you're fucking going to bed when I want you to. Lights go out, curtains close. Like I'm telling you, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, well, I salute you because it's a battle.
That's
Yeah.
me time, John.
I know.
Until they can fully take care of themselves and put themselves to bed and do all that shit, then they can do whatever the hell they want. But right now, it's my way. All right, that's it. Well, we don't know what we're doing next week, right?
No, we got options. There's some options. Frogman potential.
Love it. All right, that's gonna do it for BGH. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.